Let's put your business on display. Network, let's heal and pray. It's our love, we here to stay. Trust in God, he'll lead the way. We on right now, no need to wait. Let's go. It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah. It's all about connecting, yeah, let's go.
So, hey everybody, we are back, and I am super excited here today to have my very special guest. I mean, she is a phenomenon. Let me just say that. She is a person that will just come in, light your fire, get you in order, set your message straight, network beyond measure. None other than the wonderful, beautiful Talisha Joseph. Hey, Talisha.
Hello, what a beautiful introduction. I'm so happy to be here with you, Nisha. You're such a good friend to me. I want to say that. And this is my second go around, so I am familiar with the territory.
Yes, yes, yes. And I am just grateful that you are here to sit down for the second time because I believe so much growth and expansion has happened since the last time we sat here. There has been so many phenomenal things and opportunity to have that has happened, and we'll get into that. But tell us who you are, where you live, a little bit of personal stuff about you, and we'll dive into some business stuff after that.
Sounds great. So my name is Talisha Joseph, and I am the founder and CEO of The Official Glue. And I help individuals master the art of networking so that they can get on the yes side of their business. And I hail from sunny South Florida, where it's either hot or it is wet. So right now we're having some interesting weather. It hasn't been raining, but we're happy. And I have a beautiful, sexy husband
Okay.
and two lovely children, two boys that I just love to pieces. And so we're here doing the darn thing. I have been an entrepreneur for the last 6 years that I could count. I've probably been an entrepreneur since I was 6 years old, really, because I've always been the type of woman, International Women's Month, the type of woman
Oh, here's
that
such a
enjoys
story.
my own independence. I like to have my own money. I like to do things my own way. And so I feel like this spirit of entrepreneurship has been in me since a child, but it was activated 6 years ago.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. I think it's a gift, and to be so young and to let it all happen. I mean, I can't imagine you're probably raising future entrepreneurs with your children. So I'm really excited about that. I'm sure that they are like catching the entrepreneurship bug.
Oh, yeah. I think that is an interesting thing to say because I just did a presentation for the Black Speakers Network, and part of my presentation was about being a first generation entrepreneur. Like, you know, my parents weren't entrepreneurs, so I didn't know that that was even an option. Right. I've had lemonade stands. I've had freeze cup stands. I've had storehouses. I've sewn projects for people. I used to charge people for signatures, really.
Did
And
you
like,
really?
yeah, in middle school. So I've always had the spirit of entrepreneurship, but I just never knew that it was something that was possible
Hmm.
until 6 years ago when I was like, I'm done. I don't feel like I'm fit to be an employee. Like I just had that feeling like every job that I get is so complicated. It's irritating. I don't think I'm fit for this. Like I need to find something else. So I stumbled into entrepreneurship, but I wouldn't have chosen any other option for myself because I just love it.
I think that is so great. And you know what? Our topic today is glue. I just named it glue sticks. And you would hope that the glue would stick with your generation and your seed first and then carry abroad. You know what I mean? While you're coaching and getting everybody else in order, you definitely want it to your children to see it and say, hey, there's something about mom, there's something about dad that really, stood out to me. And because, there are not many legacy mom and pop, you know, what do you call it? Business, what do you call it? Legacy, where the business is passed down. You know what I mean? Kids usually like, oh, I'm not doing that. I got to find my own way. You know what I mean? And it's okay to do that, but just as long as you get the message that, you know what, you can work for yourself. you can be successful with a successful business owner. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that entrepreneurship definitely isn't for everyone. And I think it takes a lot of perseverance, a lot of persistence, a lot of just knowing who you are and whose you are, because you have to have a great solid foundation in order to be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of challenges in this space that not everyone can get over. But I think what my kids are learning from me and my husband being entrepreneurs is that there's options. And I think that that's the biggest lesson that we can give, is that there's not one way to be successful. There's multiple ways. And they've seen us do a bunch of ways. Like, we've been employees, we've had contract jobs, we've done entrepreneurship. So I think through my children watching our journey, they've seen the options that are available, and they have the freedom to choose what path they want to go down.
Yeah, that is so amazing. Well, I want to go ahead and dive into just basically glue sticks. One of the things that I think about, though, is the fact that the networking strategist. Okay. So that's your business. That's your title. You are the networking strategist. You are the one that is going to help people to strategize and get their message out, but make sure it's clear and that it sticks and that people know. Now, we've had conversations and they've been controversial about networking. Okay. But that's not about this topic today. What we're talking about today is, what makes you stand out from the rest with your title, the networking strategist? What makes your business stand out from the rest, Talisha?
I think that what makes my business stand out from the rest is me, what I bring to the table. Now, am I the only networking strategist? Absolutely not. I do think that this industry has become a broader spectrum in recent times. I remember when I was going down the motion to figure out, like, what do I want to call myself? And I had some interesting titles in the beginning. I think I was like a social development manager or something like that. And it just didn't land, because social media was something that people kind of knew about. And so when I said the word social, they would relate to social media. And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how you talk to people and how you interact with people face to face. So I had to get creative. And so my creation was saying I am a networking strategist. And I thought it was something that would stick, because not many people has heard the term networking strategist. So it was an interesting way to introduce myself as a networking strategist, rather than a social media manager or a social media marketer or a social developer, whatever. It was just something that was interesting. And so I think what makes me different from everyone else is the way my brain strategizes and processes information. And I
Mhm.
know that there are so many people that have a different way of thinking, but I'm also not afraid to speak my mind and share my thoughts.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are some of the things that make me different from most people in this industry.
Well, that's awesome. I want to go ahead and just talk about, what does a networking strategist do? Specifically do you do in terms of making a change and a difference in the industry of where people in business overall? Because that's who your target audience is, our businesses, correct?
Yeah, I work with small business owners mostly, people who are really finding it hard to get from point A to point B as far as their message is concerned, and the network. They find it hard to kind of build up this following or fellowship per se. So I would love to take you on a little journey of an analogy, because I speak in analogies. I think that's something that's special about me too. And what I do is kind of like making a broken cup usable again.
Wow.
So if you think about your network, and now, I mean, when I started this business, I was really interested in how helping people generate more interesting face-to-face connections. But obviously, COVID's opened up a new span of how are we doing this digitally too. And I think my business has evolved since the beginning, because it was all about like talking face to face. And the broken cup is now I'm like, man, this makes sense because we have to make sure that who we are, how we show up in person is consistent and
Right.
relevant to who we are online. Like those things need to stick. They need to work together. And so now what my business does is it really helps small businesses understand how to make these things work together so
Mhm.
that they can increase their revenue, how and leverage opportunity, which is really important. And I think that sometimes we don't find the value in the leverage, and we can leverage opportunity in person, online. I don't care where you are. You have the ability to leverage yourself. So that's that piece and sticking it back in place to make sure that the cup works and that people can drink your water and
Yeah.
really be nourished by your message. So that's what the official glue does.
Now that is so awesome, but I'm gonna think about this for a moment and use your analogy about the cup because what happens when your message leaks through and here it is, you've had a full cup, you've repaired the cup, it's so great. And then after about 3 years, that cup starts to leak where the business in the cup starts to trickle down to nothing. How can you stop the cup from leaking before everything leaks out and you have nothing left? Because people get burnt out, they get stuck in a space, they get discouraged along the way from just feeling like, you know what, maybe I'm not relevant anymore. What do you recommend?
Well,
Besides seeing the networking strategist, okay, and scheduling your appointment, okay? Give a little bit, not a
that's my
lot.
first recommendation. No, but I think that when we think about repair, like patchwork, we all hear these different ways that we can repair a cup, right? We can tape it back together. We can use some really good tape and just put some tape on it. That'll be fine. And I think that's part of what a lot of businesses do. They tape it. Or they'll use whatever glue they have laying around their house, mine that be Elmer's, and hope that it dries well enough to hold this thing together and see if we can drink. But then you put some water in it and pieces start falling apart.
Mhm.
Then we might go into the super glue category and be like, okay, well, my mama told me to use some crazy glue, so I'm going to use it. And then you find yourself stuck to your cup, right? And so I think that in the repair, we need to have a strategy. Number one, like we have to have it. And we think of the strategy after the cup is broken, but we
Mhm.
need to think of the strategy before the cup starts to break. Like
Yeah,
we got to prevent the cup from breaking and know what we're going to do if it breaks. In the case your cup breaks, what are you going to do? And
that's so
this is
good.
where the networking strategist comes into play, because a lot of people think about networking as something that we're going to do when it happens. And it's like you have to prepare for it before it happens. You got
Mm.
to fix the holes before the network starts to fill up your cup, right? And so your question was, how do we do that? And the answer to that question is strategy. You cannot do anything without a strategy. That's number one. And number two, you have to have grounding. You have to have a solid foundation so that you can lay out all your pieces and glue them back together in formation. You cannot have pieces scattered all over the place and trying to find them while you're trying to glue them together. That is how you get stuck in the project instead of being able to drink out of the cup.
Yeah. Wow. That's a whole message right there. And I think I'm excited about it because it really does speak to the glue sticks because every glue is not made for your cup.
Every glue's not made for your cup.
It has to be a specifically designed strategy for you and for your business.
Yes.
So, um, so I want to just quote a phrase that you share. Sell your future and not your present. Let's talk about that a little bit because I think that, like you just said, you're absolutely correct. People think of networking as like I have my business together now. Now I can go network. When they don't realize the process starts when you said you decided to start a business. So that speaks to that future piece. Sell your future and not your present. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I remember when I started my business and I needed to motivate myself in order to get in front of a crowd and tell people what my new innovative idea was. And I know that that is so nerve-wracking for most people who are just starting. It's like, I don't even know what to say, right? I don't even know where to start. And I don't even believe this right now because nobody's bought yet. Like
Yeah.
no one's paid for my services. So I don't even know if my services are good. And so we get discouraged before we even start. But the way that I talk myself out of discouragement is stop talking about the things that I'm doing presently. Like I need to just stop telling people my situation currently and start pushing the situation of my future and start telling people what my future ideas look like and leave my present situation off the table. Like we're not talking about that. We're only going to discuss what's happening next. We're not talking about what's happening now. And what I found in that, me telling myself, you know what I need to do? I need to sell my future. I can't talk about the present things. And what I found when I talked about my future passionately, people were on board with what I was saying. When I left my present condition out of the conversation, people got super interested in what I was saying. Even if they didn't understand it, they were still interested in it. So I really do tell everybody, hey, sell your future, not your present. Don't bring your present situation to your current conversation. It's not warranted there, because when you tell people about what's happening currently, you're breaking their trust. You're creating doubt on what it is that you're going to do when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna be creating a business soon." No, I created a business, or I'm gonna be launching a program. No, I'm launching a program. You're not gonna do anything. You need to sell it like it's already happened. And this is in the word, right? This is Jesus's word says to say it like it is. Say it as it already has happened. And
That's
we have
right.
to be moved by that. God said to sell your future, not your current situation. Because if you want to move in a futuristic way, you have to be confident that his promise is what it is, and it is as alive as your breath. So when you speak, you have to speak life into what is happening next for you, not what is happening right now.
That
This
is
too
so
shall
good.
pass.
That is so the truth. Call those things as not as though they were. You know what I mean? Write the vision, make it plain that they that see it will run it. They run with it. That is so the truth. And I think a lot of people live in pipe dreams by just saying, I'm going to, rather than speaking to, this is what I have. This is what's happening right now. You know what I mean? Not right now, but in the future. This is what I'm going to be. That is really, really, really good. I really appreciate you saying that. So in regards to that, let's talk about what sticks. Now, glue sticks, and you've always said your message has to be sticky so that it can stick. How do you feel that people have missed it along the way? You know what I mean, in terms of just like selling themselves short or moving too fast and not really getting the message to be able to be stick. And even in current times, I'm talking about myself, I have a lot of irons in the fire right now. I really have to reset, and I do know that reset in order to make sure I know what I want. And I think that that's the power in having a networking strategist like Talisha, is to really sit down and say, hey, what is working? What do I want to see? You have to have a vision, otherwise you'll just be a tumbleweed. And that's one thing I know that for a fact. So let's talk about that message that stick. What makes it stick?
Well, when we're creating a message, first thing we have to know is what the message is going to do. And I think this is a space where we get it kind of wrong. We think that our message is going to convert, and your message is not built for conversion. Your message is built to ignite conversations. That's what the message does. And so what makes it stick is really having a succinct and clear branded vision. So you have two types of messaging. You have a vision focused message where literally you're doing exactly what I said before. You're selling your future ideas, right? And you're selling it in a way that is a branded concept, right? So for Nisha's network, maybe your message is, we're the place that you're going to go to find all your connections. That's the brand. That's the branded concept. And what makes it stick is that piece of your message is never going to leave. It stays forever. It stays forever in the form that it was created. We cannot go here and say one thing and then go here and say another thing and then go there and say another thing. And thinking about this on a digital platform, we have to go back and look. What is our messaging on the different platforms? Are we saying one thing on LinkedIn, another thing on Facebook, another thing on Instagram, another thing on Clubhouse, another thing on our website? That's breaking it. That's the cup. And all of these pieces just scattered all over the place. Nothing is making sense together.
So with that being said, when you wear many hats and when you are a serialpreneur, you know what I mean? Because you may come from a speaking, you may be a speaker, international speaker. Then you may be a teacher. Then you may be the networking strategist. Then you may be, all these other things. And so, it's so interesting. I haven't launched it yet, but there is a website that is or a page that's being created for me called everythingnisha.com. That'll lead everybody to everything. Because if I haven't learned anything from you, and it's been created a couple months, we're going to launch it in May, I think. But I'm saying that to say that I understand that. But that's the key component to so many people, that whether they're an author, you know what I mean, or whether they are a sales agent for something, or they're selling an actual specific product or brand for retail, and then they may be a minister, or they may be a coach, or because I can name all those things. And the bottom line is that making the glue stick in one area, but should you have a page for every different thing?
No, absolutely not. And so what we do with my clients is we have a broad spectrum. We think about things in a big picture idea, in even the piece of developing your business. When you say, I want to be a business owner, you have to think about the 10-year scope. Like, what is it that you want your business to be in 10 years from now? You can't think about what I want my business to be 12 months from now, because every 12 months, your business is going to evolve and it is going to change, and you're going to start picking up dust, and there are things that you're going to add to it. So you have to build a big box first, a big box that can fit a lot of different ideas. So think about your dresser, right? Your dresser is the house to all of the drawers, and all of your drawers are assigned different tasks. You got one for your underwear. You got one for your shirts. You got one for your pants. You probably have one for all of your junk, right? But the dresser houses everything. So what is your dresser, right? Think about this. What is your dresser? And what happens is we're creating drawers. We don't create dressers. We don't create businesses that can hold all of it. And, I am a love-hate fan of the niching project. I'm like, Nietzsche, because we're taking small businesses and telling them to be a basket.
Never heard that before.
Yeah. So we're saying, okay, figure out what kind of basket you want to be. And we can't be a basket. We need to be a drawer that can hold multiple baskets, multiple size baskets. We can hold a lot of things, because not for the consumer. Make sure you note this. Not for the consumer, but for you. You need a dresser that can fit all of the things that you want to put in the drawers, not all of the things that your consumer wants to take out of the drawers.
That's good.
And so, and in this way, I feel like businesses today are built on the idea that we need to create for our consumer. And no, I always say networking is one of the most selfish activities that you could possibly do in life, because this is the one space in the world where the world actually revolves around you. And you can create a world that revolves around you by building a dresser and painting it the colors that you like, and organizing it the way that you want to see your clothes in your drawer. And when someone else comes to your house and says, hey, can I borrow an item? You can say, okay, the item is in the third drawer, and then they get to pick what is available in that drawer to take out. where we have been told to put things in the drawer so that everything is available for the consumer that might come.
Wow.
And that is that to me is a backwards approach to business. We have to start thinking like dressers, not like baskets. Think about your big idea. What is it that you want your business to be in 10 years from now? If you are really trying to be a business for longevity, you have to think longevity. You have to think about the future of your business and what do you see 10 years from now? Because if you're telling me that you want to be a speaker, I want to be an author, I want to have courses, I want to play a baton, I want to do all these things, then we have to build a dresser that can fit all of it, and then create a message that encompasses all of it, not just one piece. So I think that's where things kind of go awry, where now we got a lot of companies that are just creating 50 pages for all the different things, when we just need to have one dresser. And then we, as a consumer, can go into your dresser and pick out the items that work best for us.
Do you all hear that today? Everybody needs a dresser, okay? Everybody needs a dresser, and it's going to house different things, and it's going to stick to what area it needs to stick in. But if you do not have that, then guess what? You need to go to the networkingstrategist.com today and go ahead and sign up for your consultation so that you can really hear what dynamics need to change in your business, or where you need to grow, or where you need to expand, or where you need to sell your future and not your present. Okay. I think this is this is so powerful, and that went by so fast. I can't even believe we're here. But Talisha, one of the things that I remember that you did, and I know that your business has, I don't want to say it's shifted, it's grown so much to the point where you're on demand right now. And so one of the things that I think about is, you were doing group coaching to kind of help people to come together. But I do recommend that people take an individual dive into scheduling your own individual consultation so that you can get your own course for your dresser. And so where can people look for you?
Yeah, so I am available on all of the social media platforms except TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I am on Clubhouse. I am on Instagram. I am on LinkedIn. I've dabbled around in Facebook a little bit, but I am a responder. So if you reach out to me, I will respond to you. And to what you're saying, I think that group coaching is a great model for people who have a specific need. Like it's like the messaging course that I have. That is really for you to build out your message. That's it. That's all we're doing, right? And group coaching works if you have a foundation and you just need help in this small area. And this is what I call like the light adhesive plan. It's just light work. It's not heavy lifting. We're not trying to create gorilla glue. We're just trying to seal up some cracks that you have within your business, and maybe the crack is in your messaging. Maybe that could be it. So we're just going to put a little bit of light adhesive on that, get you back on track, just seal up and patch up some of the holes and make your message back sticky so it can hold all the pieces that you want to put inside your cup. But then we have the Gorilla Glue, which is you want someone to hold your hand and stick with you while you are going through your process. And so that is an offer that we have as well, which is we do it in 3 months is minimum. If you need this type of support, we're like 3 months is it. And it usually is best when you do it in a 3-month package, because you don't want to space this thing out too much. If we're gorilla gluing you, you want to stay stuck to us so that we can actually help you. Your problem and help you solve it and help you fix it. So we do offer a few different ways to work. But I think the best thing that you could do for yourself is knowing where you are and being honest about where you are. Like I get into clients sometimes and they pick the light work, and then we feel like we got some heavy lifting and they've extended their time. So be honest. If you are going to hire a coach, you have to come with honesty. You have to be extremely transparent and put it all on the table, because if we have to kind of uncover things as we're going along, you're stretching your process. You're creating this
Yes.
really
Yes.
long, stretched out, drawn out thing, and it's going to cost you more money.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help you. I'm here to like help you save some money. I don't want you forever, but I want you to come honest and transparent so that we can actually help you move to your next step and stay stuck to your business. We don't want you to quit.
Yes. Woo! This has been so powerful, you guys. You all go to the networkingstrategist.com. Check out Talisha. It's going to be amazing. Your journey will not come to an end. It will be the beginning of a great experience. Thank you so much for today, Talisha.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I just want to shout out the A1C cheat code.
Yes.
They're like giving me some flowers here and I accept them. And I just want to give credit where credit's due. I appreciate you showing up and getting some good tips here. And I would love to see you on my Instagram page if you're not already following me. I think you do. I think you do because it just makes sense. But I appreciate you showing up for me. Rhonda, hello. I love seeing the people in the chat. And that's another thing before we wrap up. I want to encourage you guys to encourage people to talk to you in your comment section. Encourage that conversation. You need it. This is amazing when you see people engaging with your content. And not only is it good for you to keep you alive and well and thriving and knowing that you're doing something that is worth it. You know, when people are communicating with you and telling you, hey, you're doing a great job, they not only motivate you to keep going, but you're also motivating them in the process. So there is an exchange there. So encourage people to do that. And when you see it, shout it out. Say, hey, how you doing? Thank you.
That's so awesome. Yes. I believe in that. Definitely the support is amazing, but when you have those testimonials, that right there is huge. So thank you so much for today. You guys, until next time, go check out the networkingstrategist.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Thank you so much, Talisha. We'll talk to you guys next time. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Thank you.